Welcome to North Georgia Toyota Talks with Ben and Danyell. We're here to bring you the latest from the world of Toyota, your community, and everything in between. Whether you're in the market for a new ride or just love all things Toyota, we got you covered with great conversations, insights, and some fun along the way. So buckle up, sit back, and relax, and enjoy the ride with Ben and Danyell on North Georgia Toyota Talks. Welcome to North Georgia Toyota Talks. I am Ben Ward, your host. I'm here alongside with my co-host and friend, Daniel Groce. It's finally great to be back on the show with you, because every time we have a podcast, you're busy. The show is called Talks with Ben and Daniel.
We're here.
And we're here, finally.
You've been injured, I've been busy.
Yes.
Just the perfect combination.
Yeah, I know, but that's just what life is, right?
That's it.
We got a lot going on coming about for the 2025 time at North Georgia Toyota.
Yes.
We got a car show coming up at the end of the month of March.
That's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. We got a lot of car enthusiasts all throughout Northwest Georgia and even parts of like Tennessee coming here as well. Jonas Hope, the husband of Kaylee Hope, one of our workers here, has been a great help. We're collaborating with, and of course, this is Brian West, our technician's dream to start a podcast. He's been numerous times on our podcast, a car show here. So it's been really great to work with Brian and Jonas and Ben Brooker to get this on the road. We have less than a month until the car show happens. But speaking of cars, also the 2024 4Runner, 2025 4Runner.
25,
yeah. So, man, that's a really big deal as well. People are calling us constantly about that.
Yeah. We just got our first one in that was actually here and not pre-sold. It was a TRD Sport. The 4Runner, the relaunch is awesome. All new from the wheels up. It's completely different. So it's going to follow a lot of the same footprint of the new Tacoma. Same, like Toyota calls it, the universal body chassis system, where they can kind of interchange parts like the Tacoma, 4Runner, Sequoia, Tundra. They kind of all the same frame. But yeah, dude, the new technology, the new, limiteds, platinums for the first time ever in the 4Runner, all new technology. It's huge.
Oh,
it's a big launch.
Really big. Well, another thing coming up too is Women's Day coming up, and we don't really have women with us right now. Wait, Lauren, what are you doing here? You and Danielle in the conference room? What are you guys doing here?
It's our turn to take over, Ben.
It's your turn to take over?
Yeah, it's Women's Day.
Women's Day.
Oh.
Well, folks, are you indicating to kick us out for this particular podcast? You don't want us around, or this is an all femme fatale takeover?
You can hang out, but I think we're going to take it from here.
All right. Well, Daniel,
peace out.
folks, this has been great. Danielle and Lauren are going to take over the show.
All right.
Hey, guys. So we're going to talk about women in the dealership world. I have been with the dealership for about 7 years now. I started as a sales BDC agent, which is online sales, with similar to what Daniel does normally, and I ended up spending some time around here and ended up being one of the service managers. I am officially the Fixed Operations Business Development Manager. So basically that boils down to I manage the appointments and our recalls. And with me today, I have Danielle that has joined us here pretty recently, being our customer service liaison.
Good morning, Lauren.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and your journey here with us at North Georgia Toyota.
Okay. Let's see. I've only been here 6 months. It's amazing. It's probably one of the best jobs I've ever had. Easiest jobs. Friendliest people. They're all pretty much Christian guys up there that I work with. By the way, I work with all guys. There's one woman who works in finance and insurance. But other than that, it's me and her up front.
Got it. So what do you like most about your job?
Getting to talk to people. Getting to socialize. I like to talk.
I love to talk too. Talk all day long. I make about 100 calls a day. It's different being a female in the dealership world, but it's also a lot of fun. I came here just because it seemed to be a good place for me to go back to school and make some money. and ended up deciding, you know what, this is for me. I really like this. I have some interesting facts for you guys. According to the 2023 Bureau of Labor Statistics, 21.4% of employees at dealerships are female. That's a low percentage. And, I want to encourage our female listeners that there isn't any dumb questions. When I started here, I knew nothing about cars. I encounter women throughout the community that they ask me what I do. I start talking to them and they go, I've got a dumb question. And then they'll spit it out and I'm like, oh, that is not dumb at all. I had no clue either. And, it can be something as simple as, oh, I didn't know that you had to change brake pads ever so often. I just didn't realize that. No big deal. That's what we're here for. Feel free to always reach out to any of us females around the dealership with any of your questions, no matter how stupid you feel like it might be, because it's totally not. I really want to encourage that. We are very blessed here at North Georgia Toyota with our ownership that sees the value in having us women here. We work here and we're also in leadership. There is several of us that is a leadership role here at North Georgia Toyota. And we all love what we do. I've got some interesting facts for you guys, such as females have been in the business with the vehicles and automotives since like 1888 roughly. That was Bertha Benz, which of course is from the Mercedes-Benz legacy. She is credited with helping her husband to troubleshoot the vehicles. She created the modern autos as we know it she took her vehicle cross-country over there in Germany, and she troubleshooted it. She went, oh, well, we need to add some leather on these brakes for brake pads. So she created brake pads. Without her, we wouldn't have those. And she also created this whole thing of this is what vehicles look like, because a lot of people in those days didn't know anything about vehicles. And then we had Mary Anderson, who patented the very first windshield wiper in 1903. Florence Lawrence patented the turn signals in 1914.
Wow, don't we wish everyone used those?
Of course. And Margaret Wilcox created the car heater in 1893. I don't know about you, Danielle, but I'm cold all the time. If we didn't have heat in a car, I would be like so upset.
Yes, and I'm loving the heated seats and steering wheel right now I have in mine.
Oh, yeah, that's like fantastic.
Yes.
I don't know what you would do without the windshield wiper, the brakes, the turn signals. I don't know what you'd do. And then there's also Dorothy Pullinger. She invented the rearview mirror. For us women, it's not just to look behind us. We're doing our makeup and making sure everything is in place. So, that's very important. And then Hedy Lamarr. She wasn't only a movie star and super famous in her day, she was super smart. She invented the communication systems used in cellular technology and Wi-Fi and GPS that we use today.
Lord, how would we ever get through without her?
Never. I was looking at pictures of her and I was like, oh my gosh, she was beautiful. I'd heard her name, but I had never really looked at her. So, what challenges have you faced as a woman in a traditionally male-dominated field? And how have you overcome that?
Probably one of the biggest things you have to overcome is customers will walk in, and a lot of times they don't want to talk to a female. I'll be standing there, and my job is to greet them and point them in the direction they need to go. And a lot of times they'll walk right past me when I'm standing there, and I'll greet them. And the salesmen are usually standing in the background waiting for me to turn and say, yes, this gentleman will help you. A lot of times they'll walk right past me and go to that salesman.
Absolutely.
And the way to overcome that, I have found, is we used to say it in retail, sugar them with kindness.
Oh, yeah.
Fill them up with kindness where they can't walk away. They just have to speak to you.
Absolutely. I know with me being in the service department, I've encountered that before. All I have to do is, you know what? if I don't have an answer for you, I'll be sure to get you one. And I just keep on talking, and then I break that barrier with them. Not always do we have the answer, but we know where to find it. That's what's
Exactly.
important around here is knowing where to find the answer. We do have a lot of customers that prefer to talk to us girls around here because they're like, you always take care of us. You're always just so sweet. Have you encountered that, Danielle?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. So, how do you think we can encourage more women to join the automotive field with us?
One thing is, I feel like let's see, what am I trying to say? The A personalities, I think they're very dominant and they stand out. And I think that's one thing that we can lead these women up and say, you're very outgoing, you're very outspoken. Don't let these guys intimidate you. Stand up and let us show them who we are and what we can do.
Absolutely. I know that at first being in the service department was not ideal as a female. There was only a cashier and a controller at that time whenever I went to the service department, and I had to break a lot of barriers. But it was fun breaking those barriers, letting the guys see I didn't know everything. I had no clue, and I needed to shadow and ask questions and go out in the shop and ask more.
And be willing.
Yes. And then it's like, okay, like she is willing to jump in here and find out what we need her to find out.
I don't know about you, Lauren, but I love it when people ask a question and they almost, you can read them that they don't expect you to know the answer, but yet you do. I'm like, yeah, man, I know that.
Absolutely.
Don't go past me. Let me have the opportunity to show you and tell you what I know first.
Absolutely. And we have Carmen, who is one of our service advisors here.
Carmen is amazing.
She brought service. Like, she's a female out there in your face every single time you come in the dealership for service. Like, she can answer your questions. She can take care of you. She's very knowledgeable. I wish she could have joined us today, but she was kind of busy. But Danielle, what kind of changes have you seen in gender diversity and inclusion within the dealership or the automotive industry as a whole? It's more of the automotive industry as a whole because we've always been very diverse around here.
Well, probably like you said, when you first came here, there were 2 females.
In the service department, yeah.
Yes.
And we had a few others throughout, but it was not really a lot of us, but now we're growing.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Just in that amount of time that you've been here, in the 7 years you've been here, how many women have stepped up and are in the industry now or in this particular dealership? I don't know about other dealerships.
I don't have an exact
there's several,
number.
more than 2.
But yeah, in the service department, now I run a 3 female team. We've got Carmen, who works out on the drive. We've got a cashier. We've got...
Actually, we have 3 cashiers and a backup cashier back there now.
So we've got a lot of females that have stepped into these roles. We've got Wendy. She is our controller and human resource. She's been here for 20-something years. We've got a good amount of women around here, and we all build each other up, and that's what's important, is we have an alliance together, and we just take care of each other.
Exactly.
Like I remember being a kid, going to different dealerships and stuff with my parents for stuff, and never seeing a female.
Exactly.
And now you walk into this dealership and we've got several females and we're all knowledgeable. We all help customers.
And a lot of times when you walk in here, the first face you see is a female.
Absolutely. We really do take care of our customers and we really like to be diverse around here. How important is mentorship and what can we do to support women coming into our industry? I just talked about us being mentors basically to each other around here, but how important is that?
Oh, that's very much important. Some women, not myself, probably not Lauren, but some people or some women are very sensitive to what's going on around them. And if there's those strong women, not bragging, but there's those strong women like Lauren and I, and Wendy perhaps, they can come to us and kind of vent maybe, or cry on our shoulder, whatever they need to do. And us being the women we are can help build them up and encourage them at that point.
Absolutely. I know I've got a personality that is kind of strong sometimes, but that's what it takes to be a female in the service department as well, is having that strong personality to break barriers and not, getting all fixated on, oh, this person talked harsh to me.
Exactly.
This customer talked harsh to me. Okay, big deal. Let's let it roll off our backs and move on. We're still going to treat you the same. We're not going to.
Chances are that customer has been ugly to somebody else somewhere out in the community, and they're not just picking on you. It's just the personality they are.
Absolutely. Like I said, we've been diverse for as long as I've been here. It's just we keep growing and growing. So, we're very blessed to be in a dealership that wants to include females and keep building females to be leaders around here.
Going back to Carmen and that, talking about us being diverse here, going back to Carmen again, who would think that you would have a female, when we say service, guys, she is checking you in. When you have questions about your car, she is a lot of times telling you, she's diagnosing it for you. She can't get out there and fix it because she's tied down to her desk. Honestly, think she could if she walked out there. But really, what dealership have you walked in that you have a female waiting to greet you there and do a, quote, man's job?
Absolutely. That is rare. We did have one other one at one point, and it was because her husband was a mechanic, so she kind of understood it already. Now, Carmen, we've had her brother work for us before, so she, her family has worked on cars, so she has an understanding.
She's grown up with it.
She's grown up with it. And, I know whenever I've interviewed females for my department, it's like, okay, how much about cars do you know? Because I want to know where our baseline is and what I need to teach you.
That's kind of like when they interviewed me, they were like, are you willing to learn about cars? Guys, it's not that hard. If you're in the presence and you're hearing these guys talk about these cars and the features and different things about them, you just kind of absorb it. When you hear it so much, it just comes natural to understand it.
Absolutely. When I started, I was so determined to learn about these cars. I had a binder that sat on my desk that I had printed every car that we sold in our dealership. It didn't matter if it was a base model all the way to a limited. I wanted to know every single detail about that car so I could explain it.
I can't say I've went that far, but when we bring cars into the showroom, I'll go on our website and look at that particular car. It's all of its features, everything it does, the ins and outs, even down to, what the name of the color is of the car. Because a lot of people, believe it or not, they want to know, oh, that's not just white. What is that? Well, guys, that's ice cap.
Yeah.
So I kind of do like Lauren and kind of research in my own personal way on that one car. So when it comes in, people start asking questions, and there might not be a salesman available.
Absolutely, and it's great that our customer service liaison that's out there popping our popcorn and greeting our customers is also being able to answer some questions while our customers are waiting. You're helping to keep the flow going, and not only, would you like some coffee? Would you like some popcorn? Not the basic stuff. You're also digging in and helping to keep that customer.
Mm-hmm. And forming a relationship with them. I've got several that'll come in and say, do you remember last time I was here? For instance, one day last week, I had a lady come in and I recognized her. And she said, and we didn't have popcorn at the time when she was here, and I had it today, and she walked up to me and she said, yeah, you didn't have the popcorn machine when I was here last time, but I said, well, maybe I wasn't here. And she said, yeah, you were here because remember my husband had dementia. And he didn't want to go on the test drive, and you told me you would watch him. And he sat on the couch, and I just made sure he didn't get up and run away.
Right.
And that was like, oh, my gosh, this customer trusts me to watch her husband who has a dementia. Versus one of the salesmen. Do you think she would ask a salesman to do that?
Oh, I highly doubt it.
Oh, no, definitely not.
because women are going to trust other women a little bit more.
Exactly.
And then we have been part of this, we have been around for like 40 years already. This dealership, we have a strong hold on this area. People trust us. And then they come in and they see a woman, that builds a little bit more trust because women tend to be a little bit more trustworthy, unfortunately.
Even though our guy, we're not knocking our guys at all.
Oh, no, we love our guys.
Yes, we have some very awesome guys who are very trustworthy. But a lot of it's just that stereotype that
It's just a stereotype, and we're trying to break that for us, but also we need to break that for our guys too. We really appreciate our guys around here. This is the women's show, and we're so excited to be out here doing this show for you guys and breaking some stereotypes and just chatting. I actually recommended Danyell. I had worked with her before. I've known Danyell for a while, and I knew her personality. I knew that she would be a good fit for us here at the dealership.
Yes, Lauren was the reason I'm here.
I know that I've worked in many places in my time, and I have met some great, strong women around the community. And, as stuff comes up, I do recommend some. Do you have a memorable moment or achievement here that you're particularly proud of?
Probably the lady with her husband with dementia, because that just really struck a chord with me. Like I said, I don't know that I could have walked into a dealership knowing if I'd only saw the person one time and gave my husband, who has dementia, just sat him down on the couch and said, "You sit right here. I'm going to go test drive a car." I'm like, not sure I could have done that. So that's definitely something that I'm proud of, that she trusts me that much with her husband with a disability.
Absolutely. And maybe she had met you before at a different location because you had worked for Hibbett's and Academy.
Right.
So, maybe she had seen you before and knew that you had to have been trustworthy for the stuff you've done previously.
Right.
I know that I'm proud that I have several customers that want to call and just talk to me because they know I'm going to take care of them. It doesn't matter if their question is something that they know I'm not going to be able to answer. They prefer to ask me and get back to them. That's just how they are. And one of my customers particularly called me about 2-ish years ago. It was probably a Tuesday, and I was taking off the rest of that week and the following week, and they're like, "We'll call you back Friday." I'm sorry, I'm gonna be off this week. I'm getting married Friday, and he was, "Well, congratulations, but I'm sad because I wanted to talk to you." So I encouraged him to talk to another female on my team, and he did just fine with her, but he still calls me back and he checks on how I'm doing outside of here. And, I love that I have built a relationship with a customer that they want to know how my life is.
Exactly, outside of the dealership.
Yes, because it's not just about servicing their car. They've built a relationship with me on how's life, what's going on outside, are you good, that just really strikes me. Mm-hmm. Like you were telling me last week, Danyell, that you had a customer that came in because they didn't have anybody else and had some questions for you.
Yes. The little gentleman, he's 78 years old, and his wife had passed away, didn't have any kids, didn't have any siblings. He literally had nobody. And he had been to the eye doctor, and that gave him, y'all know, all that paperwork to fill out. And he couldn't see. I mean, that's why he went to the eye doctor. It wasn't that he couldn't read it, he just couldn't see it. And the little man said, I was driving down the road. He couldn't fill it out, and no one at the doctor's office would help him. He said, I was driving down the road, and he said, I thought, that little old girl at North Georgia Toyota, she's always been so nice to me. And that little man brought me 3 pages of information that he wanted me to fill out for the eye doctor. Now, granted, it was just his name, his address, and the last page was kind of funny, and I said, now, Mr. X, this paper says you won't be ugly to them. You have to be respectful to them. Even if they say something you don't like and they won't fill out your paperwork, you have to be nice to them. And he signed it. But we went on and we completed the paperwork. He had told me how appreciative he was of me. And that was just something like, it really made me feel good. It reminded me a lot of my dad.
Absolutely. And, just because we're a dealership doesn't mean we don't care for our customers.
Exactly.
There is all kinds of stuff that happens in our customers' lives we try to be involved in whenever they need us. We have some get well cards that we try to send out from time to time because stuff does happen. You get sick. You've got stuff going on. We do really want to send you something, to make you feel better and let you know you're not just another car to us.
Not only sending out the cards and stuff, I have people that come into the showroom that are waiting, have their car serviced. A lot of times this is the only interaction they have with people. It may be they're little hermits and they live in their little cave and they never come out and they just want to talk to someone. So that's another thing that I really enjoy, that I get to talk to these people and build them up.
Absolutely. I know my grandmother, she is basically a hermit because she is terrified of catching COVID or anything that's going around. And honestly, me and my family prefer that because we don't want her to get sick. And, them just going out and having a little interaction with somebody sometimes can change their entire day.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a big difference, and especially when it's a pleasant interaction. And I know around here we try our best to make it the most positive. We like to do whatever it takes to make you happy.
I get a lot of compliments up front about people are so nice here. People are driving from Rome, guys. Signal Mountain, Chickamauga, all over. LJ, Blue Ridge, Jasper, all that to come and get their car service here. And how many dealerships do they pass that can change oil?
We even have customers that come from the very edge of North Carolina to see us.
That's awesome.
Because they make a day of it and they enjoy it. We know who they are. We've got 2 sets of couples that like to do that. I know to set them around lunchtime. They make a whole day of it and they enjoy it. Every single time, every 6 months, they're here. Never complain about the drive. They're just happy to be here.
Most of them say they enjoy the drive and the scenery, especially, I guess, coming from North Carolina. I'm sure they have a lot
it's
of nice
beautiful.
things to look at. Yes.
It is absolutely beautiful. We just have customers from all over. And there's other dealerships that are sometimes closer, and they still choose us, and that's what matters. Because we give the customer service. We care. We are having the car show coming up here very soon. This event not only brings the community together, but also showcases the incredible work women are doing in the automotive world. And so, this car show is going to represent our area and how it supports the local community, especially in relation to women in the industry. In final thoughts, it's important to recognize how far women have come in the automotive industry, and events like the car show help remind us of the difference women are making across the board. Thank you to everyone at North Georgia Toyota and all the women who help drive the industry forward. Keep leading the way.
And thank you, Lauren, for having me this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me.
This has been a special podcast at North Georgia Toyota in Dalton, Georgia to celebrate International Women's Day, Saturday, March 8th, 2025. I want to thank Lauren and Danyell to come in and share their experiences as women and in the automotive industry at our car dealership. We hope everyone has a wonderful March, and stay tuned. Whatever goes on at the dealership, make sure you guys check out our car show coming about on March 29th from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And this has been a special podcast at North Georgia Toyota to celebrate International Women's Day. The real celebration starts March 8th, 2025, but we recognize women every day in our dealership and every industry around the world that is conducted by strong women. And not just one day, let's recognize our women all day, every day. Tune in next time for another podcast, as long as you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, we have these podcasts on Spotify. This has been North Georgia Toyota Talks with Ben and Danyell, bringing you guys a special edition to celebrate this particular holiday. We'll see you guys in the next one.